Imagine that you're a kid just doing kid things, just having a good time playing with toys, anything of that sort. And then one day you get told that you have cancer. Obviously, you may not really think anything of it. Your parents may not make it a big deal to not, worry you and stuff like that. But to your parents, that's scary. By the time you're seeing this, it should be my birthday, August 26th. I was born in '02. And by the time I was around 2 or 3 years old, I was diagnosed with leukemia. This is kind of like, difficult to talk about, especially putting it out there on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, I talk about it anywhere else to any other friends, family, people that are close to me. I can usually talk about it. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't really like that to be my whole personality, or just my whole thing. I like my whole thing is just cancer this, cancer that. Like, no, like that's not me. Yeah, life growing up was very interesting, if I say the least. Having leukemia was, a struggle. It was a hardship. It was a hurdle that me and my family had to face, where I would throw up, be sick out of nowhere. Like, it was a lot. I remember at one point I had to get pulled from my kindergarten class for a little while because the doctors didn't want me to get sick from the other kids, and they didn't want like my sickness to get any worse than it was. So I had to get pulled from my kindergarten class. But there's this one memory, I always remember. Um, when you would think, some of y'all would think that the teachers stay at the school, right? I was one of them at one point. I was one of those kids that thought the teachers never left the school, right? But my kindergarten teacher came to my house one day, and when I saw her, I was happy as could be. I was so excited, so happy to see her. And I thought that she brought the whole class, like they took like a field trip type thing to my house. And I thought like outside there was going to be a whole bus full of my classmates in there. But no, it was just her. But I wasn't complaining, obviously. Like, I was still happy, but that's what I thought as a kid. And that was one of the best days of my life when I saw her come to my house, and seeing me and hoping I got better soon. There was a place that opened their arms to me and my parents. That association was asked, and they opened their arms to me and my family, and they helped us all the way through when it comes to the cancer and everything like that. It was hard, but as made it a lot easier for us. And and I'm very grateful. My parents are very grateful, and we are blessed to have them in our lives. It was hard, but they made it better. They made it easier. I was a Make-A-Wish kid. I used to go to Universal a lot. I loved Universal as a kid, and with the Make-A-Wish badge, I would always be able to skip the line, and that was great. I loved that. I could ride my favorite rides. The Spider-Man one was one of my favorite rides, and the Harry Potter one. I loved that one at Universal. And with my parents, not knowing if I would, see another day, they wanted to do things for me. You know, the doctors told them not to spoil me, but they did. They spoiled me a lot, and I would say that for being spoiled, I'm pretty humble. I try to be as humble as possible and have a good head on my shoulders. Like, I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad about it or anything like that. Like, I know where I come from, but I don't want to seem like those spoiled kids or anything like that. Just times where I would try to do something and I feel like I wouldn't get it, cuz like with the treatment and chemo, I would process things a lot slower than other kids. And at one point they wanted to hold me back in elementary school, which Ash said no. They said no, they don't, like, that would be bad for him. Do not hold him back. I didn't get held back. I graduated when I was supposed to graduate. In those times where like everything was like kind of just hard to do at some points, just kind of like rocky, like just doing some assignments and doing homework and just anything like that. I had a tutor that helped me out with the assignments that I needed to get done. There'd be a lot of times where I would, be working 1 minute, next thing you know, I would be mad, bawling out, crying, or just mad and frustrated that I'm doing this. It would be so much. Like, I would go from one, like, it just like I would just switch personalities. I'd be alright, and then next thing you know, I don't want to do it. I'll get mad, upset, or I cry about stuff. Like, it was so chaotic. But I'm so happy that I had the tutor I had back then. She was really the best tutor I can ask for. Being there and actually helping me do the assignments and get stuff done, reading and writing and everything like that. Like, she was a really big help, especially in those times. School was, it got better after a while. Elementary school was a struggle, but I did my very best. I did my absolute best. My dad would always ask me, did you do your best? And I told him I did. I always try my best. I wouldn't, not put my best foot forward when it comes to working on assignments and doing tests and quizzes. Like, I'll try to do my best as I could. Ask, taking me in, everything like that, taking my parents in, everything like that, doing what they could to make my life better. With cancer, I would go to their summer camp, do things over there. I wanted to be a counselor really bad, but obviously I was too young at the time, so I couldn't be a camp counselor over there yet. But that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a counselor and, be one of the big dogs, like that and stuff like that. But yeah, I couldn't do that just yet. I was still young, but while I was there, before I became camp counselor, I was just, I was drawing. I did a lot of drawing. And people over there, they said they liked my drawings and they saw me being an artist one day, and they were obviously kids' drawings are not the best drawings. They're pretty crappy. If I could find an example, like one of the examples in my house, I'll show y'all. But like, they're kid drawings, so they're not the best, but they were I guess enough to see potential. One of the reasons why I got into drawing was because I'd tell my parents to like draw me Sonic or something cool that I liked, which Sonic was one of my favorite characters and still is my favorite character to this day. I wanted to trace on the computer screen, and I would just want them to draw me something. And I know they traced it, but I still thought it was the greatest thing ever once they gave it to me. Like, my parents don't know how to draw like for Jack. Like, they don't know how to draw, and they know that, but they would just trace on the computer screen. I'd take that drawing and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I love it, and I just took it. And so I would start drawing myself later on in life. I drew Sonic, any character that I really like I fucked with back then, I drew him. Yeah, then everyone saw and they thought I could be an artist one day, and art would be my thing, and Lord and behold, they were right. Art is my passion. Art is still my passion to this day. Graduated with a degree in art, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm jumping from place to place, but just bear with me. Back to chemo treatments, going to to the clinic, the hospital, not the hospital, but yeah, the clinic. Sometimes I'll be in the hospital, but if we go to the clinic, there'd be some nights where I would have to stay for a while during chemo and everything like that. And like, there would be times where I'd play the game over there because like it'd be long times, long days, long nights being over there. As time went on, I didn't have to go as much. It wasn't as often. But then, after a while, I beat it. I've been through enough chemo and everything like that, and they told me, you're done. Go ring that bell. And there was a bell in the hallway right near the entrance. I can like visualize how it looks. I was walking down that hallway. They put me in a room. There was like the entrance, and then there's a hallway that goes straight, and then there's a hallway that goes to the right. They brought me to the right that one day. And then I walked out there, came over and rang the bell. Everybody came out and started clapping. They started cheering for me once I rang that bell to signify I was done with cancer and going through that journey, being done with chemo, being able to get the port out of my chest and continue living life. That was a blessing. Graduated high school with honors, and I graduated college with honors, and that was a challenge, all the way through. It was I keep wanting to say struggle, but it was some hardships, things that I had to go through. Not every kid had to go through something I had to go through, and if they did, I commend them for being strong and getting through it. Some people don't even survive that, but kids that go through that or went through that, I commend them for being strong and going through that and being able to get through it. It's a blessing that, going through life, having that experience and finally just getting through that experience, and then, then finally being done, and then going through school, having that struggle with processing things and just going through life, but not letting that put me down, and graduating with honors in both high school and college. I put in that work. I tried my best. I did what I had to do. At one point, obviously, I didn't need Miss Gordon anymore, my tutor. One day I just said, I think I'm okay now, Miss Gordon. I think I can do this on my own. One of the ways my parents figured out there was something going on, that there was something wrong, is I had a thing that they call a distended belly. So I would eat, I would eat as a kid, but not as much to have that type of belly on me, you know what I mean? So that's when my dad thought it was something wrong. The doctors would tell him, like, it's nothing, it's like, it's not really anything, like your kid is fine or it's okay. But my dad was insist, like, no, there's something wrong, like my kid shouldn't be looking like this, like it's just no way. We don't feed him like that, we don't feed him that much to where his belly should look like that, And then the doctor told him, all right, okay, fine, make him take a urine test and all that other stuff so we can see what's going on. My parents get the call and they told him to come to the hospital, and that's when they told him I had leukemia, I had cancer. So that journey was a hard one, but we got through it. Especially my parents, they had to stay strong, and they stayed strong for me, and I tried to stay strong for them. And y'all may not believe me, but my dad told me, like, you got to do this, needles, they're going to be putting it in your chest and all that stuff. Yeah, I had to get needles inserted in my chest. Now, some of y'all may not like that. Some of y'all may not be fond of needles. I know some people don't like needles, and that's understandable. But back then, my dad told me I had to do this. It's something I had to do and get through. And when they would give me the injections in my chest, I would never cry. I wouldn't do any of that. Like, I would stay strong. I know what they were doing. I know that they were inserting medicine into my chest. I knew it. I knew that they were doing something. and I saw it. I seen it. I looked at them do it, and I was okay. I didn't cry. Back then in the hospital, when other kids were going through the same thing, I would go to the kids and be like, don't cry, it's gonna be okay. Like, I don't know how I did it. I really don't know how I did it. I don't know how I had the strong spirit like that, but like, all I can think is just God was on my side. God was with me, and he wanted me to do that for other kids that would be crying, struggling, taking those injections, but God helped me to be strong. My parents helped me to be strong in those times. And, I just, owe it all to my parents and God for, helping me come this far and pushing me this far. My story has a lot of bumps and a lot of brick walls, but we broke through them. We broke through those barriers, got through them together as a family. And some of the things I had to get right with school and everything like that, I had to persevere, break through any walls or barriers that was in front of me to get where I had to be, and to show them, or to just not show them, but just to show that I can do it. To show that no matter what happens, I can persevere through the struggle, through anything that comes my way. I can do it. I'll try my best to get through that and to jump over that hurdle. And I did that. I did what I had to do to be my best self and to overcome anything that got in my way or anything I was struggling with. I did my very best to get over the pain, the learning struggles, the learning curve. Like, I did what I had to do. I took when my dad asked me all the time, did you do your best? And I took that in stride. I would always do my best. No matter what it is, I'll try and do my best. No matter what it is, no matter if I struggle, I will turn that around. I would turn it around to be able to overcome it. I would do what it takes. I would always do my best no matter what it is. Work, school, personal life, anything like that, I do my best. Like I said, graduated high school and college in honors. And I couldn't be any more proud of myself. My parents couldn't be any more proud. It was a lot. I thank God every day for blessing me with the family I have, for taking us in, for the friends I have today, for the people I've met, and everything that I have in life. I thank God for it. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I really do. I wouldn't be here without y'all. I wouldn't be anything without y'all support and appreciation. Like, looking back on life, I've always wanted to do stuff like this, but obviously I was young. I didn't have all this that I do now, all the streaming stuff that I have, all the tools and everything that I have. Yeah, I wouldn't even, like, I don't know where I would be without y'all. Like, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. Content creation and everything like that is not something new that I wanted to do. If you knew me for a long time, then you would know that this was a path that I wanted to do, or at least thought of as like just a side hustle for a long time, just doing YouTube and stuff like that. Mostly people like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and those guys back in the day. Those are the people that inspired me to like do YouTube and stuff like that. So, like I said again, I do really appreciate y'all for, even just, giving me the time of day, supporting me, watching my stuff. It really means a lot to me. I wouldn't be here without you guys. Like, I really wouldn't be, I'd probably just be a normal dude. Like, I'd just be just another guy on the internet, you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of not, like, I guess I'm kind of mysterious. Like, you don't really know about my past, and I kind of want to give a reflection for just myself and, you know, you guys that are interested in knowing a little bit more about me, well, there you go. That's Tennessee for you. That's how my life was until this point. I appreciate y'all for being here, and I appreciate y'all for listening and giving me the time of day and actually, you know, caring. You know, so this video, like, you know, kind of starting it, kind of like thinking about it and recording it, it was tough for a minute. Like, I had the gist of what I wanted to say and everything like that, but when it comes to actually recording it, it was pretty tough, you know. I thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch this, to listen, and just to hear my life story up to this point. By the time, like I said, by the time you see this, I would be 23 already. I really do thank God and my parents and just everybody that I have in my life. I appreciate and love every single one of them. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for listening, and I really do appreciate y'all just watching all the way through. Even in chunks, you still, you know, you watched it, took the time to watch it, no matter the pace, you know, I appreciate it. I thank you for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you're not subscribed, you know, please subscribe. You know, I'm trying to come out with more like long form videos, VODs from my Twitch streams. I'm going to try to put that up. I have a video that's edited, but I need to finish the thumbnail for that, and it should be out soon. Yeah, subscribe if you really do, you know, if you really do like the content, if you like this video, like it, you know what I mean? And comment something, you know, like comment anything that you know that you want to say, get off your chest, or just want to talk about in the comments. I'll read it, I'll look at it, and I'll reply to some of y'all, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I hope to see y'all again soon. If you want to like watch me live and stuff, my Twitch is in the description. All my other socials are there too, and yeah, I'll be going live here on YouTube and TikTok as well, but I'm mostly on Twitch. So if you don't find me on YouTube, I'm definitely most likely on Twitch. So I appreciate y'all for listening. Thank y'all so much for watching. And yeah, hope to see y'all again soon. Peace out. Thank you so much.